Stories can you. I told this long story on a podcast thinking it would connect. The host cut me off halfway. I was never invited back. This happens every day on panels, in boardrooms, in live interviews. Experts think storytelling will win the room. But in fast, high-stakes moments, I spent 30 years interviewing decision makers on global TV and stages, and I didn't book the expert who told a story. I booked the one who owned the mic. Here's what they knew. You're not speaking to a room, you're speaking to a decision clock. And you're running out of time before you say a word. Wait, you mean storytelling can actually backfire? Yep. People who get my newsletter already know how to deal with this. Subscribe, the link's below.Storytelling has become gospel, a multi-billion-dollar industry. It promises connection, emotion, trust. You're told that if you master the art of it, you will be remembered, you will be chosen. But when it becomes a formula, something you must follow, and you use it and you still get overlooked, you don't question that story, you question yourself. Look, it's not you. It's the myth that storytelling is always the answer. And while you're trying to get it right, that decision clock, it's ticking you out. Here's when not to tell a story. Is your interaction high speed or high stakes? Say a panel, podcast, investor pitch, boardroom. If it is, you've got seconds. The best pitches I've ever heard, I understood the why it matters in the first 15 seconds. You see, if you're eating up time proving yourself, you lose, because you're not there to bank brownie points, you're earning buy-in. You want the decision maker, the person you want a yes from, to believe in you. And by the way, I'm not only sharing what I know from my experience, I'm including real comments in this video to show you how much this is costing you. I've heard it from too many speakers, the zero to hero story, the rags to riches story. It's cliche and it's not relevant to business. Buying into story leaves you behind. I used my story as a founder. It meant something to me, but the panel moved on before I landed it. If your audience wants clarity, action, decisions, they don't want your journey. They want your judgment. The thing I repeat most when founders pitch, get to the point. You want the decision maker thinking, "Ooh, that's smart. I didn't know that. That's huge for what I'm trying to build." If you don't tap into that early, you get nothing. And the decision clock, it's counting down. The rule is wrong. The truth is, the pressure to come up with a fab story and then tell it in an engaging way takes your focus away from what really matters. You see, storytelling is a tool, not a goal, and it works against you if you're in high-pressure, decision-making interactions. Research shows that when you bury strong facts inside a story, the brain gets busy following the story and stops zoning in on and weighing the facts, which means that the information you want to get across, you want people to know, it gets lost. The flip side is that when information is easy to process, people trust it more without even realizing it. So what can you do? Brace yourself now. Go for a boring, simple list. And yes, this is backed by research. And do this. This is your fix. The best experts hit me with something sharp. I wish more people knew this was an option. Let's look at some examples of how you can do this and start with podcasts. On busy shows, if a guest doesn't hook in 30 seconds, we edit the segment out. Here's how you make sure that doesn't happen to you. Open with a killer nugget. If I was on a podcast, I could say something like, most experts and founders think visibility drives growth. The truth is, it's a trap. Now the right people for me, experts and founders spending money and time on visibility, want to hear more. Here's the takeaway. In fast rooms, insight wins. You don't get cut and the clock stays on your side. Now say you're in a pitch. Lead with a fact that makes the right people lean in. Prove you're relevant, valuable. You're not like everyone else wasting their time. For example, we cut churn by 28% in 6 months, and we can show you exactly how. Traction, tick. The big takeaway is lead with proof, land with purpose, save the story for when they care. Now say you're live on a panel. Instead of warming up with context, you hit them with something powerful. For example, I could say, in pitches, interviews, boardrooms, you've got 6 to 18 seconds. They're not just judging your data, they're judging you. Then you layer in the context and the backstory if there's time. I guarantee you, if you say something interesting, you will be asked to share more about it. I find experts and entrepreneurs get very stressed because there's so much they want to share. They don't need to. People will find out more for themselves if you get this right. So the big takeaway here is lead with the hit, not the history. The best talks, they're not performances. They are a fast transfer of value. Reality check. Here's what 30 years inside fast rooms taught me. You don't get time, you earn it. On global TV, if you're part of a report, you get around 30 seconds to say your big thing. On my programme, if you were the main interview of the week, you got all of 3.5 minutes max, start to finish. And that's for the questions as well as the answers. Now, if you're on a long-form interview programme, say half an hour or more, keep answers coming in at around 90 seconds. It means the interview stays dynamic and punchy. The point is momentum. You want to keep it going. You want to keep the energy and the interest up. And yes, you can do this and get all your key information across. If you want to work with me to nail this, click on the link below. In a panel discussion, sometimes you're given 2 minutes at the start to share your thoughts. The experts who win, they make it sharp, dynamic. They use less than the time they're given. They deliver their killer information right at the start. They don't hog the mic. They don't drone on. They are the ones who are remembered. They're the ones who people go up to when the panel is done. I mean, I used to feel so sorry for the others when the audience flocked to one specific speaker or panelist and surrounded them because, well, they were brilliant at communicating value in an interesting way. Look, you're doing all this work. You're showing up and sharing to bring your next move, your next success to life. So what can you do to make the seconds count? Story redefined. Your real story, it's not your struggle, the hardest chapter of your life. It's what you know. It's what you've built. It's what others achieve because of you. It's data, insight, results. When you know how to share this in an interesting, relevant way, the stories tell themselves. When someone can give a punchy answer that teaches me something, it feels like magic. The key to your success is before you prepare anything, define what the room wants and deliver on it straight away. Start with something that makes the people whose attention you want lean in and think, tell me more. It makes the decision clock stop because the people you want on side get it. They want it. They want more of you. Now let me tell you a story. This is Scheherazade, the mother of all storytellers. She did exactly what I've gone over in this video. She knew that buy-in from one key person was the difference between life and death in her situation. She was married off to a mighty ruler who was once betrayed by his wife. He vowed that would never happen again and had his new bride killed the morning after the wedding. Scheherazade's one goal was to buy time one night at a time, and she did it by telling magical stories that got the ruler hooked. Legend has it they had children and lived happily ever after. Now I'm sharing this because it's the same for you, minus the bloodshed. What you say and how you say it can save your life. It's about the life and death of your opportunity, the lifetime of your credibility, the lifeline you share with people who need your skill, knowledge, expertise. Their future depends on it. The clock doesn't stop while you figure this out. The thing is, all this is useless if you don't know how to speak in a way that blows up your credibility. I shared what to do with people who get my newsletter weeks ago. There's a link to subscribe below. And watch this video next to discover the speaking habits that silently kill your credibility and how to fix them. Now, aren't these gorgeous, glorious? I love these. I got them in Iran. Oh, upside down. It's Scheherazade telling her stories, and then here she's got her son, her child. I got these when I was in Iran, which is a magical, beautiful country. I was there climbing a mountain, as you do. One of the traditional art forms is this. It's miniature art. They have the most amazing miniature artists. It's the art that's small.